Good morning, California. Welcome back to the Coffee and News Show, brought to you by my book, Simpin' Ain't Easy, 12 Steps to Embracing Common Sense and Rejecting Stupidity. I'm your host, Vince Travasi, and let's get into this thing. Yum. All right. From the California Globe. Make California safe again. California's sanctuary state law puts everyone in danger. SB 54 allows criminal illegal aliens back into society. By Katie Grimes, December 3rd, 2024.
Let's take a moment to thank our sponsor, Mahalo Hosting. Mahalo Hosting offers competitive rates for domain names and web hosting. Why register a star in your name when your name can be your domain? Mahalo Hosting also offers custom high-level domains like .photography, .club, .us, and .tv. Visit www.mahalohosting.com today.
Make California safe again. California's sanctuary state law puts everyone in danger. SB 54 allows criminal illegal aliens back into society. By Katie Grimes, dated December 3rd, 2024. California Democrats would rather fight against Donald Trump than concern themselves with the safety and security of the state's residents. So how did California become a sanctuary state? In 2017, opportunistic California Democrats authored bills to counter the immigration executive orders to protect Americans of President Donald J. Trump in violation of Trump's constitutional authority. In 2017, then State President Pro Tem de Leon, Democrat of Los Angeles, the author of Senate Bill 54, claimed that immigrants are valuable and essential members of California community, and all attempts to enforce immigration laws create fear of the police among immigrant community members who fear approaching police when they are victims of and witness to crimes. According to De Leon, the purpose of the bill is to protect the safety and well-being of Californians by ensuring the state and local resources are not used to fuel mass deportations, separate families, and ultimately hurt California's economy. SB 54 limits state and local enforcement agencies' involvement in immigration enforcement and ensures that eligible individuals are able to seek services from and engage with state agencies without regard to their immigration status. It also turned California into a sanctuary state. At the time, waves of refugees were still coming into the United States from Syria and Iraq under the Obama administration. California Democrats completely denied there could be a national security issue in favor of political opportunism once Trump took office. California was then and still is home to the largest illegal alien population in the country, initially with 35 sanctuary cities morphing into the full state as a sanctuary, courtesy of California's Democrat lawmakers. President-elect Trump vowed to build a border wall in his first term and deport immigrants with criminal records. That's a key point there. We need to sit there and investigate that a little bit more. But immigrants with criminal records, which he estimated at the time to be 2 to 3 million. Today, that number could be 10 times larger. Several bills authored by Senate Democrats and the state California state legislature were meant to be a thumb in the eye of President Donald J. Trump for immigration laws. SB 6 by Democrat Senator Ben Hueso, titled Due Process for All, signed into law by Governor Jerry Brown, created a state program to fund legal representation for illegal aliens facing deportation, AB 3, proposed by then Assemblyman Rob Bonta. would have created taxpayer-funded training for defense attorneys and public defenders on immigration law for illegal aliens. AB 3 did not pass. The third bill, SB 54, by Senate President Pro Tem Kevin DeLeon, signed into law by Governor Jerry Brown, now restricts local police and sheriffs from working with federal immigration enforcers. SB 54 prohibits law enforcement from responding to federal requests for notification when a jail houses someone who might be the subject of an immigration enforcement action, whether the immigrants are here legally or not, and whether they have committed crimes in the United States. This bill effectively prohibits communication between local law enforcement and federal authorities. SB 54 specifically prohibits almost all cooperation and communication with federal immigration authorities. This is really interesting because during 9/11, when the towers were falling, there was a huge problem between communication between law enforcement, emergency services, and everything. And essentially, from what I understand, we ended up changing that and allowing for cooperation, right? Now, that particular was immigrants who basically ended up taking and committing a huge atrocity to the American people, 9/11. And so if something to that effect happened here in California, would SB 54 specifically prohibit the cooperation and communication with federal authorities? Or is it specifically federal immigration authorities? I don't know. It just kind of makes it go, as you're thinking through the process, right? Thinking outside the box. Senate President Pro Tem Kevin DeLeon and California Democrats essentially block state and local resources from being used for illegal alien and immigration enforcement. According to Hans von Spakovsky, senior legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation, also from 2017, while there are many areas over which the states and the federal government share responsibility, immigration is not one of them. He continues, there are a long series of decisions by the U.S. Supreme Court upholding the authority of prior presidents under the provision and severely limiting the ability of the courts to review the president's decision. Unfortunately, at the urging of certain states, the courts have in large part ignored the Constitution, federal law, and prior precedents. They are instead substituting their judgment for that of the president and enjoying the president's executive order by implementing a temporary halt to entry from certain terrorist safe havens. Sanctuary cities are trying to prevent federal officials from finding out about criminal alien murderers, rapists, and other violent criminals that these cities would apparently rather release than have picked up and deported so they cannot further victimize Americans. So the thinking behind this is because since Democrats never let a good crisis go to waste, this is how they keep American citizens and people who are legally here, real immigrants, who are papered and documented, to keep them in fear, so that they can keep power, I would imagine. I mean, this is what they do. Everything's always a political opportunity for these corrupt Democrats. Anyways, keep going on. But they do it anyway. However, the federal government can withhold federal grants and funds to states that withhold information. Quite appropriately, Attorney General Jeff Sessions announced that he will not award any discretionary federal grants from the Justice Department to cities that violate 1373, Von Spivsky said Seattle has filed suit claiming that the federal government has no right to cut off its access to discretionary. Well, isn't that the whole point about discretionary funding? It's discretionary. They have the right to cut off whatever it is they want to cut off. The city also makes the meritless claims that its policy does not violate federal immigration law. That's bullshit. States, especially blue states, pride themselves on violating federal laws and the Constitution. This is why we, the people, have to seriously think about who we're actually putting into office. 8 USC 1373 prohibits states and local jurisdictions from preventing their law enforcement officials from exchanging information with federal officials on the citizenship status of individuals they have arrested or detained. The Supreme Court upheld this provision in 2012 in Arizona v. United States. Proponents of SB 54 claim that Trump's executive order has just more racial profiling, and California's long-standing history of welcoming immigrants overrides illegal immigration enforcement, conflating legal immigrants and illegal aliens. Democrats ignored concerns about illegal alien dangerous felons being released back into communities to cause more heinous crimes, similar to what happened to Kate Steinle. I apologize if I pronounced that incorrectly, who was murdered by a 5-time deported criminal illegal alien. Would local law enforcement be able to assist ICE only in cases of criminal illegal aliens? It's not necessary, De Leon said. There's nothing stopping ICE from getting the individual. Committee Chairwoman Senator Nancy Skinner, of course, from Berkeley, said the state of California will not be compliant with authoritarian policies. From the bill, SB 54 would, among other things, prohibit state and local law enforcement agencies and school police and security departments from using resources to investigate, detain, detect, report, or arrest persons for immigration enforcement purposes, or to investigate, enforce, or assist in the investigation or enforcement of any federal program requiring registration of individuals on the basis of race, gender, sexual orientation, religion, or national or ethnic origin as specified. The bill would require state agencies to review their confidentiality policies and identify any changes necessary to ensure that information collected from individuals is limited to the necessary to perform agency duties and is not used or disclosed for any other purpose as specified. The bill would require public schools, hospitals, and courthouses to establish and make public policy that limit immigration enforcement on their premises, and would require the Attorney General, in consultation with appropriate stakeholders, to publish model policies for use by those entities for those purposes. SB 54 passed the legal legislature entirely along party lines. Governor Jerry Brown signed it into law and turned California into a sanctuary state. It's time to make California safe again. Well, that was a lot. Seeing as my family is a family of immigrants, both my parents immigrated here legally and have worked their asses off to get the very small piece of the American pie that they managed to gain over the years. The issue here isn't with law-abiding immigrants who want to better their lives. I think most agree that this is a nation of immigrants whom bring their talents and skills and their hard work ethic to try to earn themselves a slice of the American dream. However, when politicians, right or left, make stupid laws that give complete amnesty to criminals. And this whole thing about Tren de Anagua, I probably mispronounced it anyways. This whole thing about criminals coming over the border, setting up shop, and making our communities not safe takes away from the immigrants who came here legally. It's kind of like that concept or that philosophy of one bad apple spoils the bunch. It's pretty much what ends up. This is pretty much, I know that sounded completely oversimplified, but that's what's going on. The thing is we have a bunch of criminals who are basically spoiling the bunch. And the state of California is giving them carte blanche access. This is so that they can take control. These Democrats, whether they know, I won't even say Democrats. I'm sure there's some pretty middle of the road Democrats they're do not agree with this, but have to toe the party line. Otherwise, they won't get their own personal bills passed. It's a whole just convoluted, codependent, toxic environment, our politics. And who was that politician? What was her name? Nancy Skinner. Here we go. Not be compliant with authoritarian policy. Well, here's some news for you, Miss Nancy Skinner. This is federal 1907 Title 8, United States Civil Code 1324, offenses. So let's see, where is triple I? Here we go. Let's just read this paragraph right here. So, Title 8, 1324 defines several distinct offenses related to alien. Subsection 1324A, or number 1I, prohibits alien smuggling, domestic transportation of unauthorized aliens, concealing or harboring unauthorized aliens, encouraging or inducing unauthorized aliens to enter the United States, and engaging in a conspiracy or aiding and abetting any of the preceding acts. Subsection 2 prohibits bringing or attempting to bring unauthorized aliens to the United States in any manner whatsoever, even at a designated port of entry. Subsection 1324(3), alien smuggling. Alien smuggling makes it an offense for any person who, knowing that a person is an alien, to bring to or attempts to bring into the United States in any manner whatsoever, which person at a place rather than designating port of entry or place other than as designated by the commissioner, regardless of whether such alien has received prior official authorized to come to enter or reside in the United States, regardless of any future official action which may be taken respecting the alien. Where is section 3? Harboring. Here we are. This one's a good one too. Harboring. This actually goes out to Senator Nancy Skinner. Pay close attention. Harboring, subsection 1324, makes it an offense for any person who, knowing or in reckless disregard of the fact that an alien has come to, entered, or remains in the United States in violation of law, conceals, harbors, or shields from detection, or attempts to conceal, harbor, or shield from detection such alien in any place, including any building or any means of transportation. So, Senator, it would behoove you to consider to stay in your lane and worry about the state and not get involved in any of the situations that don't concern you. It'd be really interesting to see what's going to happen with these blue states when President-elect Trump takes office. Very, very interested to see what shenanigans the Democrats are doing. Oh, and by the way, just kind of a side note, just for the just for the voters themselves, I mean, this is where our tax dollars are going. I'll constantly beat this drum. Where is our 15% tax to the fucking state going? It's going to a lot of wasted fucking laws, and the more laws that these politicians continue to put in place, the more we continue to experience a shittier state. And there's no pun in that. I know LA and San Francisco are covered in poop. If you remember DeSantis pulling out the poop mat uh, during the debate last year. I digress. We seriously need to begin considering, what's our return on investment when we continue to vote these assholes into office. And I say we because even if you didn't vote for them or didn't vote at all, you're still playing that fucking game. All right. Well, I truly hope that you enjoyed this video. Like, follow, and share. Definitely. And then, of course, I'm going to put in a shameless plug for my book. Really talks about and gets to the root of simping. And one of the definitions that I actually put in my book is basically putting in time, money, and energy, and receiving little to no return on investment. This is what I feel like. It's like we, as voters, put a lot of time, money, and energy into a system that we are actually getting no return on investment. Most of these senators and politicians that we continue to put into office is basically just like a really horrible relationship. So, simping ain't easy. 12 steps to embracing common sense and rejecting stupidity. It's on all platforms, Audible, Amazon, you name it, it's probably there. Google. Help support the channel. Help keep me going. Until next time, love you, mean it.